This is GerotheHero, and this is my review of 3 Gatsu no Lion, Episode 7. So, we're back to the awkward scene where Rei is talking to the boy that Hina likes, and what's funny is that he is there not for her, but to talk to Rei, and it's because he is a professional shogi player, and since he is a kid that wants to become a professional baseball player, he wants to ask his opinion as kind of like a fellow person that turned pro early. So he asked his opinion, an honest opinion of whether or not it was a good idea to go pro or not. And he explained that he didn't want to have regrets of not doing that. So it's interesting that he feels like that's a pretty good answer and that it's a very honest answer. And he shares that, that he feels the same way. And it's like a breath of fresh air because you can tell, like, even with the visuals, that everything's gotten brighter. And he feels like there are other people like me. So he brightens up a lot. And he also invites him to talk to him again. And he feels like that's actually making him happy. But it's funny because now Hina has to deal with him coming to the house. And it's been embarrassing for both of them. So again, Hina tries to do too much stuff for the visit, and ironically, the only people that are going to be there are Rei, herself, and the guy that she likes. So it's very awkward. In the next scene, everybody starts showing up, and the grandfather shows up and notices that he's grown bigger, because I guess they knew him when he was younger. And they talk about his father and his friend, and they talk about shogi, and that's mainly the main reason that he came there as well. He was asking for his parents to find out why he did a certain thing in a match, and it was merely a mistake. He thought he was doing a good move, but he wasn't. But they encouraged him because they said, it looked like you were trying to do a good move. It was just an honest mistake. And then it was funny because then we see the scene of his friend. So Nikado is explaining that, what was he trying to do? Funny because he's like directly talking to the TV as if he's talking to Rei. And he has this impassionate speech that, stop trying to act cool. Because I'm your friend, you need to take care of yourself and do better. And it's funny because eventually, because of that, Hina decides that she wants to start playing shogi. And it's funny because then Rei starts to go and find all these pieces and stuff, and just happens to meet Nikado there, and he's trying to find him a picture book and just happens to not be there. So then they both go back to the house, and so Nikado at first is letting Rei explain how to play shogi, and he, of course, explains it way too complicated. But then Nikado jumps in and he shows the picture book and makes it a lot more simpler than him. So then essentially, Rei gets left out again. So then he was all happy about, teaching someone new about shogi and his world and all that. But then Nikado pretty much takes over. And it's funny because the visuals they use are cats, and they kind of look like the kittens that they have. So finally, after 7 episodes, now it's starting to look like the anime about Go, where they're actually explaining how shogi works. So it'd be interesting if the rest of the episodes are teaching shogi little by little. Someone that's a beginner could pick it up. It was also interesting the ending credits, because it was pictures of all the little characters as if they were alive. So it was a little nice touch. I thought it was interesting in this episode because finally Rei kind of feels more happy about things, that there's someone he can relate to and also explain things to. As well, it was interesting that he got to finally teach Hina about shogi, and that the fact that he actually acknowledged that Nikado is actually his friend and cares about him. So all those things that hopefully will be more positive and help him become a better person. So we'll have to see what happens in the next episode. So like always, comment below, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, and see you next time.